Do you keep dying in box fighting situations while versing against tryhards? If so, continue watching this video because I'm going to be teaching you 10 simple box fighting tips and tricks in Fortnite Chapter 3 to beat all these tryhards. Okay, so the first tip I'm going to be teaching you is to time your edits for when your opponent pulls out their pickaxe and starts swinging at your wall, because it will make them more vulnerable and an easier target. So what I mean by this is, when you're boxed up in your own box, when your opponent walks right in front of your wall, wait for them to get their pickaxe out and start pickaxing your wall before you make an edit play. Now this is really crucial, because if you don't wait for your opponent to pull out their pickaxe first, they're going to have their weapon out, most likely their shotgun out. If you make an edit play on them and they predict it and then they take a shot at you and you miss your shot, now they're going to have the advantage over you. So they're probably going to start spraying into your box and try and finish you off. Since now they shot you with a shotgun, you're most likely going to have way less health than them, especially if you miss your shot and they shot you. So if you don't wait for this, it'll be way easier for them to get a shot on you and also finish you off much quicker. So you don't want to take any crazy risks like this. That's why you gotta wait for them to pull out their pickaxe and start swinging your wall. The reason why majority of the time I'll wait for them to swing your wall at least once before you make an edit play on them is because some people try and trick you. They switch into their pickaxe and then they can quickly switch back into their shotgun, and now they can take a high damage shot on you. So you don't want to take that risk. So most of the time I wouldn't take this risk. You can take that risk if you want, but I'll just stick to being extra careful since I want to make it as likely as possible that I win that gunfight. So make sure you use this tip when you need it. So the second tip I'm going to be teaching you is, when in a box fight and you're low on health or you're trying to escape from your opponent and get some distance between you and them, tunnel away and put stairs behind yourself to create a bigger distance and provide yourself with more protection. And it doesn't just protect you from behind, it also protects you more from above. So if someone's trying to get into your box from above, you also have that extra protection from the stairs. And if you put a roof and a cone in combination with the stair, you even get more protection from people above you. But it's not necessary to put both the cone and the roof. You could just put one of them if you're trying to box up, or if you just want to put the roof to just tunnel away to the next tunnel, that's also fine as well. I'm just giving you more tips that might be useful. So yeah, this tip is actually very amazing. It seems so simple, but a lot of people do not do it. If you're low on health and you want to get some distance between you and your opponent, definitely start using this and you can really take advantage of it, and I'll highly recommend you do, since it's very effective and simple to do, and you can use it very often, which makes it even better. So definitely start using these more often in box fights. Alright, so the next tip slash trick I'm going to be showing you is one when your opponent's above your box and is trying to take your roof. So what you want to do in this situation when your opponent is trying to take your roof is go to an angle where your opponent can't see you, then quickly make an edit play on them, then jump and take a shot at your opponent. The reason why this trick is super effective is because it is very hard to predict. So this trick is actually way more simple than a lot of people think. At first it may be kind of hard to do and adjust to it, but once you got this mastered, you'll even take the best players by surprise. So you won't need to use this trick so often, but there will be times where it will be super effective to use it, and I'll recommend you do. The fourth box fighting trick I'm going to be showing you is super smart. So what you want to do is build a box that you're going to stay in the outside of. So you're not going to be inside the box, you're just going to stay in the outside and you're going to crouch outside it. Obviously you don't want to be in the same side as your opponent, otherwise they'll of course know that you're trying to trick them, since they already see you outside the box, so they won't fall for the trick. So this is most effective when your opponent's coming at you from the top. Since they're going to think you're inside the box, they're going to try and laser inside your box, because they're most likely going to drop down to one of your front walls, which in that situation you can shoot them and finish them off quickly, or you can even piece control them, or they're going to spray right into your fake box. In that situation you have full piece control of them, so you can edit on them however you like. So in my opinion, I think this is a super smart box fighting trick, and it's one that I really recommend you start using. So this next trick could be challenging to use, nevertheless it is still pretty simple to do, and it is to use cones to block off your opponent and stop them from getting high ground over you whenever possible. And sometimes you can even predict where they're going to build next, so in advance you could build a cone to block them off and stop them from building upwards. And if you're trying to get high ground, this will slow them down so you can get high ground instead. And the best thing about this trick is that you can use it so often, so it's definitely worth learning. Now the next box fighting trick I'm going to be showing you is a phasing trick that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, and it is one that I see a lot of people make a mistake with. So first, pickaxe your opponent's wall until it has 1 health. If it's a wooden wall, you only have to pickaxe the wall once for it to have 1 health, and this part is very crucial, but a lot of people make a mistake with it. Once your opponent's wall has 1 health, place the stair right above yourself, then you want to pickaxe your opponent's wall while jumping into it to phase right inside their box. And the reason why the first part is crucial before you place a stair is because if you don't do that, you're trapping yourself in a very bad position that your opponent could just make an edit play on you. And once you trapped yourself, it's kind of hard to escape. And that's why you want to make sure your opponent's wall has 1 health before you do this, because you want your phasing technique to succeed as quick as possible, ideally on the first try. And for that reason, if you want to use this trick, you definitely need to practice it a few times before you use it so you don't mess it up. Also, by placing the stair later on, you don't make it obvious to your opponent of what you're going to do, which makes it more likely for the phasing technique to succeed. So yeah, this one's definitely one that you need to practice a lot so you can make it work majority of the time, which will be really helpful because this trick is a high risk, high reward, and you want the odds in your favor. Also, if you're finding finding this video helpful, do drop a like on the video to help spread these tips and tricks to people that need them. Okay, so the 7th tip I'm going to be teaching you is when you're in a box and your opponent takes your wool, instead of making the common mistake of just spraying your opponent's wool till your ammo runs out. So what you want to do is spray your opponent's wool until you break it. Each time it breaks, try and reclaim the wool back. And the reason for doing this instead of spraying your opponent's wool constantly to try and phase through is because when you do that, most of the time you don't end up phasing through. Also, when you don't phase through and you run out of ammo, the opponent's most likely going to make an edit play on you and it's not going to end well. And even if you do phase through, majority of the time your opponent will still get a shotgun shot on you and you don't want to take that risk. So instead you want to spray your opponent's wool, and each time you break it you want to try and reclaim it back. And if you don't reclaim it back until your ammo runs out, you have one more chance at reclaiming the wool back, and that is to pickaxe it and try and reclaim it. But if you mess that up as well, make sure you get your shotgun out, since most likely they're going to try and make an edit play on you. So try this instead. The 8th tip I'm going to be teaching you is to take advantage of right hand peeks and crouch peek shots. The reason why this trick is so useful is because it is so simple to do and you don't have to waste extra materials to protect yourself from your opponent, which if you're very low on mats, it could be really useful. And an extra tip is, when possible, to get maximum damage with your shotgun, you want to aim with your shotgun then quickly take a shot. This will help you get more damage with your shotgun, and not only that, it also allows you to get a more accurate shot on your opponent. Now this tip is kind of a 2-for-1 special, since you can always aim in with your shotgun to deal more damage, which also improves your shot's accuracy, and you don't have to just use these when you're doing a right hand peek or crouch peek shot. And you don't always have to aim in with your shotgun, since when you do aim in with your shotgun it does make you more vulnerable. So don't always do it, but you can actually use it more often than you think. And one of the best times to use it is when you're doing a right hand peek or crouch peek shot, since you usually have a wall protecting you. And that's why I combined both these tips together. The 9th tip I'm going to be teaching you is when you're attacking someone inside a box, make multiple walls weak so the opponent doesn't know which wall you're going to take or spray into their box from. Now this tip could be super effective when used correctly, and since it's so simple to do, you might as well use it. So you can do this trick with a gun or even a pickaxe, and if you're doing it with a gun, the best guns by far to do it with is SMGs, ARs and pistols, but you can also do it with any other guns. So I highly recommend you start using this trick since it's so simple and very effective. Now the final trick I'm going to be teaching you is more advanced, but it's still very simple to do, and it has a couple of steps to it. So when an opponent's boxed up, if they have a cone at the top of their box, you want to try and take that off of them and claim it for yourself. So you got to make sure you have the cone at the top of their box, and once you've done that, what you want to do is edit the front 2 tires of your cone, and once you've done that, you want to pickaxe your opponent's roof once. What you want to do after you've done that is to drop down on your opponent's front wall and place a stair. Then you want to pickaxe your opponent's wall once to trick them into thinking you're going to take their wall, but instead you're going to jump, pickaxe your opponent's roof and claim it for your own. Then you can make an edit play on them, then finish them off. And if you can, try and piece control them by placing a cone or stair inside their box. But the one thing to keep in mind with this is that you have to do it quite quickly, otherwise your opponent will just edit out quickly, or even worse, they'll be ready to counter you. But overall I really like this trick since it's very useful. If you found this video useful, do consider subscribing to the channel and turn on the notification bell to never miss out any new amazing videos I upload. Also, if you want more box fighting tips and tricks, click on the video on the screen right now. Feel free to comment down below, let me know any videos that you like to see and I'll make them for you. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.